Hi, Nika. So Nika came to say hello. Okay, so sorry, I'm very comfortable. It's Sunday. Happy Sunday to all of you out there. Thanks so much for stopping by the Cigar Vixen channel. I'm going to go over my top 5 cigars for the week in just a moment. We'll see what Miss Nika does if she wants to come jump on my lap while I'm filming. Sometimes she does that. So what these 5 cigars have in common this week is that they all go especially well with coffee. As you can probably see where I'm going with this, not only do they go very well with coffee, but in particularly with my coffee. Yes, I'm plugging my new coffee brand shamelessly, Tassa's Coffee by Delicia. You can hopefully visit the site if you haven't already. Check it out. There's 3 different options to choose from. As of right now, I wanted to kind of start small. I haven't really talked about it too much. I've made a lot of mention over, you know, the course of the last few years about how I personally drink coffee a lot with my cigars. I believe that it's one of the best pairings. It has to be up there with my top 2 favorite types of pairings to do. I also am a huge fan of rum. I like bourbon. I'll try other things as well, but coffee is a go-to, and it's pretty much a daily thing for me with the cigars. That being said, it's the coffee itself that I have on my site. It's actually a passion project of mine. I've been working on it little by little over the last couple years. I've actually been fortunate enough to visit a couple different coffee farms and learn that side of things, even though I'm definitely in awe of the people that are able to grow and do all that's involved in the entire process. It's quite the process. Very similar to tobacco. If you've had the chance to visit a tobacco farm, there's so much involved in the overall process before we actually get the end result, and the same is true of coffee. So I immediately made that connection, and it was almost like a no-brainer to me as to how come more people don't pair their coffee and their cigars? They just go so well together. But really, I've had the chance to not only just visit the farms and see that side of it, but actually spend some time roasting and playing around with that, which is a lot of fun. To me, that's even more fun than going out and trying to roll cigars, because I've proven to be terrible at actually rolling cigars. Love to smoke them, love to visit the factories. Not a fan of actually getting down and trying to make the cigars. I just make a mess of everything. So I know my limits. Now, with the coffee, as I mentioned, I've had the opportunity to visit and spend some time with a local roaster that I, throughout the whole process, the farming, finding the beans that I want to use, making those relationships, and then getting involved in the actual roasting process, testing blends, seeing, okay, I like this one, this is too much, this is too light, blah, 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 all of that stuff. I finally came to these 3 that I offer on the site. And again, I started with the 3. God willing, will have more, as time goes on to offer as I play around. I have some things that I'm working on, of course. But I started with those 3 because to me, they're just the 3 basic, they're my 3 favorites. For different reasons, for different times of the day. But right now I actually just did the French press with my day drinker. So my day drinker is appropriately named because it's the coffee that I actually probably drink the most, with the intention of I drink multiple cups of coffee throughout the day. And I know there's a lot of you that do the same. So the day drinker is for that person. It's a coffee that's smooth enough to that you can drink it often. It's not gonna it's not gonna be too harsh on your stomach, I guess is the best way to put it into, simple terms. But it's just extremely smooth, and to me, it has amazing flavor. It's from Guatemala, it's from Antigua, in fact. It's a single origin, beautiful, beautiful coffee, and it's a pea berry, and I just fell in love with it right away. And it's something that I wanted to share with all of you. But it has those traditional notes of more Latin American types of coffee notes, so the darker chocolates, caramel, little bits of the brown sugar. It just has those nice elements to me. I can just drink that all day long. So the name Day Drinker comes from that. It's actually a joke. I have my older brother that my oldest brother, that was helping me a lot with, you know, kind of the behind the scenes with the coffee. He actually had a background in, he used to work for Starbucks corporate. He lives in Seattle, so he's always around all these different coffee houses and all these different places, and he drinks a lot of coffee as well. My whole entire family drinks a lot of coffee, but he actually helped me with some of the names of like being creative. So the Day Drinker was the one that, again, I tend to drink the most of. I also have the Hopping Goat, which is fun. Again, that name came from my brother. He's a goofball, but of course, I think most of you know the story of like the goat herder that, you know, had the goat that ate the beans from the, or the fruit, the cherry, you know, coffee cherries from the tree and jumped around, was hyper. And that's kind of like how they claim that coffee was discovered, more or less. So that was the idea with that name, Nika. And, you know, that one is, again, paying homage to like the roots of it. That one's an actual Ethiopian Yirgacheffe single origin coffee, and it has those really nice, you know, citrus and apricot notes, and a little bit of like cherry. I mean, that one's really good. And then we have, of course, the espresso. Here, look at this little baby. She's interrupting. She's crazy. She wants attention. So we have the espresso, which is the Jefe blend, Jefe being boss in Spanish. Also kind of a little code name for my dad. He's the boss, you know, we always, well, my brother more so would always call him Jefe, what's up Jefe, that kind of thing. So the espresso is self-explanatory. It packs the punch. It's a stronger one. That's the only blend that I have so far. And that one's really nice. You know, it has a little bit of the citrus, a little bit of raspberry. I pick up green apple, but it's really nice. Again, all three of them being appropriate for different types of cigars. With that in the background, I always had that in the back of my mind when I was selecting these different roasts and these different coffees, was like, okay, which ones are gonna go well with particular cigars? So these were the three that I wanted to start out with for that reason. So again, talk a little bit on the topic, rambling a little while, but hey, I just wanted to give you guys kind of a little bit of a back. I've done a lot of social media mentions of the coffee, but I wanted to give you like a quick little face-to-face as to, okay, what's this coffee about? Why are you know, doing coffee now? I'm still doing the cigar thing. Just thought it would be a very nice pairing, a nice accompaniment for those of you who are cigar smokers and also coffee people. I should have done this on camera. I had somebody ask me a great question. And in fact, I'm gonna start doing a little segment where I just do you mind? Where I just do a video where I'm like answering questions that you guys asked, like on camera, really giving more details. Sometimes it's hard to type, you know, very lengthy answers. So feel free to post your questions, especially about the coffee. Feel free to ask me anything and everything that you would like to know. I'll do my best to answer as many of those questions as I can. Also, of course, ask the cigar questions as you always do. But there was somebody that asked me if I could do something on how to relight a cigar once you've been smoking it, which is a great question. All too often I see people maybe not doing the best practice. I don't want to say wrong, but maybe not the best way. I didn't even think about it until after I did it, but if you have a cigar that you're smoking that starts to get the ash on it and it goes out, you want to make sure that you take off the ash. That's really the only time you should ash your cigar. You should normally just let it fall, but you want to ash it, like kind of roll it on your ashtray, if you will, just kind of get rid of that ash and then start over and just relight it. I actually will toast it again quickly, depending on how long it's been out. If it's still somewhat lit, then I might just, you know, puff and light it. But if it's completely out, then do the whole process again, basically. Toast it real quick and then puff it and light it with your lighter. But that's basically it. But the most important thing I would say is just to ash it first. Don't relight it with the ash on it, because that is just not a good flavor and it's more difficult. You won't get it even, all those things. So that's kind of a quick answer. I'll do another video where I actually show you guys, or next time I'm smoking and it goes out, I'll be sure I try to film that part of it, because I always forget to do that. Okay, and now for the 5 cigars. Sorry. Okay, so number 5 is the Charter Oak Connecticut. Beautiful cigar made by Nick Melillo Foundation Cigars, Connecticut shade wrapper, Sumatra binder, Nicaraguan filler. Has a nice mild nutty pecan, hazelnut, creamy. Definitely a coffee cigar, especially if you're somebody that drinks your coffee with creamer in it. Like if you're a half and half person, not necessarily a lot of sugar, but just more so the creamy, the people that drink their coffee with cream. I do that sometimes. Most of the time, 90% of the time, I drink my coffee black. That's why I'm so particularly, I'm a straight out coffee snob. Like, I've evolved into that place where now that I've had good coffee, I can't go back to drinking bad coffee. It just, and especially because I'm not somebody that masks my coffee with a lot of sugar and cream. I like to drink it black, so I really taste if the beans are burnt, if it's just bad quality, all of those things, or if it's old. Coffee, again, really side note, real quick. If your coffee is older than like 21 days, ideally you should be drinking your freshly roasted coffee within that time frame. Not everybody does it. It doesn't mean it's like super, super bad, but ideally, like if you're a total coffee snob too, or you're really particular with your beans, you should drink your coffee after it's been roasted within the 21-day time frame. That's the best, that's the ideal. You should even, taking it another step, if you should be getting your coffee whole beans. Sorry, if you're not, it's okay, but ideally you should get your coffee in the whole bean format. And then right before you're gonna brew it, then you should grind it. Again, that's the freshest, best way to consume your coffee. Again, after many, many times trial and error of doing all these different ways, that's the best way that you should, be taking your coffee. And so again, the Connecticut Shade Charter Oak is an excellent cigar to pair with that morning cup of coffee with a little bit of cream in it. It's just a really nice balance of those flavors. They go very well together. It's a great pairing. I don't know if you guys can hear Nika in the background. She's tearing something. She has her toy and her little bell is going crazy. So sorry for the background noise on the video. Moving on to number 4, we have the Alec Bradley Post-Embargo Honduran wrapper, Nicaraguan and Honduran double binder, and Nicaraguan and Honduran on the filler. The notes on that one, it's kind of a berry, a sweet. You have a coffee, earthy, cedar, and a little bit of a light pepper on that particular stick. So again, that one goes really well. I've had that one with an Ethiopian coffee. I haven't had that one with my Ethiopian coffee yet, but I plan on doing so this week. But I would think because the Ethiopian coffee has that brighter kind of, that's, to me, is the best way to describe the flavor on it. It's bright. You have the fruit, you have the, citrus, apricot, those kind of things. So that particular cigar goes very well with an Ethiopian type of coffee bean. So that would be my recommendation for, for that particular cigar and that particular coffee. Number 3 is the AJ New World, which is what I'm smoking. I'm actually smoking my own that he rolled for me. This is a Lancero. It's not available. It's not available in a Lancero. I just don't have any of the regular New World sizes. I only have the Lancero. But either way, it's a great stick. And this is the original one. It's the on the website, I think it's the Oscuro. It's the first one that he did, the first New World that he came out with. And there's been some follow-ups. There's a Connecticut now, a Puro Especial. There's a few, like a Corojo, I think. So he's got a few follow-up. Again, AJ blends like amazingly. And he's a person that I've learned a lot from, but also I've had the chance to visit his factory and his farms a couple different times. Both of them beautiful, just really nice. A nice treat to see those things. So the New World is, it's a Nicaraguan puro, and it has filler from Ometepe, Condega, and Esteli, again, Nicaraguan wrapper, and then jalapa on the binder. So lots of different flavors. But the best is you get those rich dark chocolate notes, the cacao powder, a nice kind of a moist earthiness to it. Little bit of cedar, little hint of cinnamon, but very, very nice with the day drinker coffee, with a Guatemalan, if you have like a different Guatemalan, specifically Antigua as the region. Really, really nice. It pairs beautifully together. Just those notes they just complement each other so well. And Nika is very hyper right now. She is just going crazy in the background. Number 2 is the Joya de Nicaragua Antaño Dark Corojo. Hi, baby. And that one is a Nicaraguan puro as well. So it has a Nicaraguan Corojo Oscuro wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler. It's a quite fuller bodied, robust, black pepper, kind of a boom, type of cigar, in your face, but great flavors, just very in your face. So naturally it goes very well with the espresso, that Jefe blend, or just an espresso coffee, because it's like, boom, you get the power of the espresso, and then you get, that boom from the cigar. So they stand up to each other very well. And again, you're kind of, putting those different flavor elements together, whether you're someone that does like a cortado, or you do maybe a Cuban coffee type of a thing, that the potency of the espresso is really gonna come through. So it's a nice matchup with that particular cigar. Great pairing. And again, going on to number 1, we have the classic ILLUSIONE Eternai. Beautiful stick. I mean, that's one of those that when I see them in the humidor, most of the time, they have the nice aging to the cellophane. You can see it, and it's just like, yes, that's just such a nice cigar. I love that cigar, as I know a lot of you do. That one is a Nicaraguan Rosado wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan Criollo, and Corojo on the filler. Excellent flavors. You get a mixture of citrus, coffee, honey, graham cracker. That one goes, again, exceptionally well with, I would put that one with the, with the day drinker as well, but you could put it with actually a variety of coffees. Again, being that it's on, has some of those lighter, creamier, graham crackery, honey notes. It's a good one to, if you do your coffee with creamer, it's a nice matchup with that. So, and again, if you're a flavored creamer person, then you just kind of open it to all different kinds of possibilities, especially I would say, the hazelnut or the vanilla. Those would be excellent types of creamers in your coffee with that particular cigar. So again, if you're somebody that's watching and you're like, I've never had coffee with my cigar, I think that's a crazy idea. Just try it out. I know I challenged you guys last week and I said, hey, what's your favorite pairing? And then if you didn't have one, or if you did have one and you've never done coffee, try it with the coffee. So I'm curious if you guys took my challenge. If there's anyone out there that had never had coffee with their cigar and tried it recently, I'd love to hear the feedback. How did you do your coffee, for one? Like, what did you drink it black? Did you put creamer in it? Did you put sugar? Did you make, a Cuban coffee? Like, what did you do? How did you drink it? And then also taking it a step further, because I'm curious how most of you prepare your coffee, but how did you make your coffee? Did you just go to the coffee shop, or do you make it at home? Do you do a French press? Do you do a pour over? Do you do just a traditional drip brew? Which way do you make your coffee? And I will be making some different coffee videos. I'm going to be putting them out there very soon with just some quick ones on like brew methods, because it does, believe it or not, make a big impact on how your coffee tastes, which again, being somebody that grew up drinking like just, automatic, whatever, brew, drip type of coffee, never knew made a difference. And then again, coming into, similar to the cigars, you just learn so much about all these little things impact the end result tremendously. So I will be doing some videos, as I mentioned, on, temperature for the water, the ratios and things like that. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask them. As I mentioned, I'm going to do some videos where I just answer questions. So please post those. And again, don't forget to check out the website. Let me know what you think. If you have tried the coffee, I'd love to hear your feedback. If you plan on trying it, again, all of those great things. But if not, I still thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Appreciate you being here, and enjoy your Sunday. Cheers.